Okay, I guess I'll get started then. I'm gonna start by showing you guys how to make a spatter brush. Just an easy, quick way to make a cool spatter brush since I use them so often when making my textures and stuff. So I'm gonna start doing that. Just use black because the colors don't really show up well whenever you make brushes, so just do black. And go to vector and make yourself a little circle. Make sure it fills on too. And you're gonna just make little circles. Like, hold on, I'll show you. Okay, opacity's down, of course. I mess up right away. Anyway. Okay, so make little circles. Normally spatter is like a bunch of little circles. And you just add little circles jutting out here and there. Like that. Just all over the place. It doesn't have to look like anything yet. You can do some circles coming off the sides like that. And there you go. That's what it should look like at this point. The next thing I do is I turn off fill and I'll go to freehand instead of circle and do erase mode right there under tools. Opacity is normal right now. Don't worry about opacity yet. I will do something with lower opacity. Okay, and then what you're going to do is just go around the edges and kind of jiggle your hand back and forth like that. And just do that all the way around the edges. Like that. Yeah. I'm doing it quick. Normally I would sit here and worry about like everything going the right direction and all of that. But don't have to worry about it that much. And just do that around everything. Do it around this one too. Over here. And over here. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it to over now, and just anywhere it looks too uniform, just go and jiggle with it in that area. You don't want it to look too uniform, so just to add a little different looks to different spots. And then we're going to turn fill back on. I'm going to write up instructions after this class so that you guys can know what I'm doing better and actually follow instructions, but I'm just going to do it like this for now. And then when you have it back on fill, just add... Oh, I don't have it on fill. It is on fill. What is it doing then? It's not filling. Huh. It's not filling. Let me see. Maybe it's just bugging out. Okay, there we go. And you're going to add little like nodules coming out here and there. Little circles. It doesn't really matter. Just to break up any uniformity that's around. Okay. Then the next thing I do is, if you want to add like little spatter lines coming off of it, it's really easy. All you do is you make a line like that, and then you hug that line all the way back down like that. And then you'll have those little like drips coming off of it. Really easy, simple way to get little drips like that. And that's how I add the little drips. You can add little circles at the end to make it look more drippy, but I don't know, it doesn't work there, but whatever. You know, just experiment a little. And then the last thing I do is I'm going to turn the opacity down to about 50-40 in between that area and do erase. And I just like how this looks. Is you go around and you jiggle it again. Hold on, let me turn off fill. And it just gives like this little, I don't know, opacity around the edge that I think looks cool. So you're just going to jiggle around with that. And you see, I just think that looks cool. It gives it this different look that I like, personally. And just do this. I know this is taking a little longer than I expected, but whatever. I'm trying to do it quick. And you just do this around the edges, all the way around. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And you leave it like, and just be random. There's no science to this. Okay, and this is more a personal preference, this little part I do. If you don't want to do this, it's no biggie. I like to go and you're still on a race. I like to go and pick a brush I've made before, but of course this will probably be the first spatter brush you made. So just pick one of BP's brushes that under spatter and turn the opacity down and just erase a little like that, and it gives it a cool look. I just like that. It's personal preference. And that is your spatter brush right there. It's very simple. I'll show you how to get it into your brushes. It's pretty easy. Just click the little hamburger, the 3 lines. You want to export share, save it as a ping to your camera roll, and then you're going to go to brushes right here. Go to select brush, hit the little plus sign, go to your photo library, and pick it out of there. And you can zoom up on it like that. And you can play with all the little settings right here to make it how you want it. I'm going to not mess with the jitter right now. I'm just going to space it out some. Why is it flipping right there? Okay. And there you go. You have your own little brush, your own little spatter brush. And okay, so there's that. I'm going to show you how to make, I just call it a grunge brush. I don't know what to call it, but I think it looks cool with some backgrounds. What I do is I go to pixels, turn the opacity down and the inset up, and then just do little, yeah, that's my stylus. You're going to hear that a lot. Pick different little shapes and put them together. And then just go to erase and pick a brush, and then just do little, oh shit, hold on, let me, if I can get it. I'm nervous, but anyway. And then just kind of erase around the edges a little and do little lines through it, different directions and stuff. Let me get the size up. And then that's just kind of a grungy brush you can do. There's all sorts of things you can do. It's just have fun. And once you start making them, you're going to really get addicted to it. At least I've gotten really addicted to making them. And the same thing, export, share, save it to your camera roll, and then hit the little plus. Add it to your brushes. And you can make all sorts of things. I would explain all the little things, so this isn't a brush class, so just gonna. And then you got your little brush right there. And you can do all sorts of things with that. Okay, so let's actually get started on what I am supposed to be doing here, which is making my textured backgrounds and things like that. And I'll show you how to use these textures to, you know, apply them to things and stuff like that as well. So let's start. The brushes I like to use most of the time are the spatter brushes, of course. There's pretty much brushes under every category that work well for this. I've found them under all sorts of categories, but I normally use textures, brushes, grunge, spatter. Hold on, I wrote down everything. And like expressionist and stuff like that. I'm going to start with the spatter brush I made. Well, here's one I made. And just turn the opacity down a bit. A good thing to do is use color swatches if you aren't sure what colors to use, or if you're doing a class and you don't want it to end up looking horrible because you use bad colors. I always start with like a white background because I prefer to build up the colors myself. let's see. And let me make sure it's not on erase. Okay. So I just start with a spatter brush. I go to color swatches. I have a bunch of color swatches in my gallery you can download that I've made so that I could use them whenever. But all you gotta do is start with using a color and just filling it in with different colors. Like, I'm just gonna go down the naturals and use them like that, and just start filling in randomly. It does not matter right now. If it looks a little too busy, we'll fix that. And just keep doing it randomly. Thank you. I'm sorry if I don't read your stuff often. I'm a little in my own world right now. I always like to add a little pop of color too, just because I think it's pretty. Now, if it's too busy like this, what I do, just go pick one of the like medium shades you were using and just go over it with that. Anything that looks too busy, just cover it up. And just keep doing it. Alrighty. Okay, let's get back. I don't know if you heard what I said last, but I said if it gets too busy, go pick one of the medium shades of what you were using and cover up anything that looks too busy. Okay, and now I'm going to go pick another brush. And, you know, just be free with it. Pick different brushes, use them different opacities. Also, just be free about it. Use whatever you think looks good. And just, it's random. There's no, like, rhyme or reason to any of this. I'm just going to cover it up with different colors and I don't know. I don't know why the audio is not working for some people. That's really weird. So I'm just changing between colors, and like I said, it doesn't matter if it's too busy because you can always fix that by just using a medium shade. Another brush I really like to use a lot is the spatter one that has the little speckles. I just like adding those. I think it adds a little extra texture that I think looks really, really good. Just adds a little extra texture. Let me get the size up and turn the opacity down a bit. Like I said, just experiment with different sizes, opacities, things like that. And let me do a little blue. Okay, and another brush I really like using is the deco brush. I think it's deco 2. I think that's what it's called, deco 2. It should be under, let me see, I wrote down it was under concept art. But it also comes like downloaded into your brushes. Yeah, that's my stylus. Boom, 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 boom. And I like using that one too. It adds some cool textures to it. And let's see, what else do I want to add? Let's see. Kadima has a lot of awesome brushes under her pack that are like ink and things like that. They work really well. Also, IAP's like desert rock brushes work really well. Let me see. This is right here, I think it's called Rusty. It's under grunge, I think. I use that one a lot. I like the little lines that it has. And here we go. We got, this one is the cracked varnish brush, and I love this brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. I just love how it looks, and it works great for this. Okay, so let me cover it up with a little bit of a medium shade just to get out anything that looks a little too busy. I know, cracked varnish is my favorite brush. It really is. Okay, I'm going to add a little more specks. I like this brush too. I forgot what this one's called. Hold on, I think I wrote it down. Let me see, what is this one called? Dirt Clod 2. I like this one a lot. And it's really cool. Alright, so let's just say we're happy with that. I think it looks okay. And the first thing I always do whenever I'm done anything is I go and mess with contrast. Because it just adds more depth to it. I love messing with contrast. And I'll show you the difference. This is it with contrast. This is it without. It just makes everything pop. I always do that. So I always use vignette because I like how it looks with the shade around the edges and like the light hitting the center of it. So I always use that. The long lines, which one do you mean? I mean, some of the brushes I used that make lines was Deco 2, which should already be in your brushes from when you get the app. But you can also find it under concept art. And the other one that made lines was Rusty, which is under grunge brushes. Okay, next I'm going to show you how you can use filters to add extra texture to a piece. Now, I always make a copy when I'm doing this just in case I mess up, and also so I can use some of the blend modes if I want. So, one way that's very simple just to make the texture stand out more is just sharpen it. And I'm going to be showing you how I use Theo's technique with these. He has a whole class on it, and I'm just going to go through that quickly. It's really complicated, so you might just want to do sharpen, which just makes everything stand out more, as you can see. That's it without, that's it with. The other thing I do is you can use like line screen, hatch screen, dot screen, any of those. I'm just going to use line screen right now. And okay, it hurts my eyes right here, so just make the width a little more so it doesn't like kill your eyes. It still bothers my eyes, but whatever. Hit overlay so that the color comes through. And you're going to want to lower the opacity. Like that. And now all you have to do I mean, this is still too much. It's too extreme, of course. So what I do is I go to a brush. I normally just pick a spatter brush. Like that. And turn it down some. And I'll turn that to erase. And then you can just get rid of the lines in places. And so you'll just have a little bit of those lines coming through, giving it a little extra texture. And just do this randomly like everything. You're going to be hearing me say random a whole lot, but it's just random. That way nothing looks too uniform. You just leave the lines where you want them and get rid of them where you don't want them. It doesn't matter, just a lower opacity. It really doesn't matter. I'm using about 27, but it's all. I got the lines by I make a copy of the one I'm doing, and I'll go to the top part and I'll go to line screen, and then I'll set that and turn the top one to overlay, and then turn down the opacity, and that's how you get the lines. And I'm just erasing some of them. So that's just one way to add a little extra texture to it. You can also use like the noise filter if you want to add a little. Either way. And then just like zoom out so you can see it better, see if it's where you want it and stuff. And there you go. As I added a little bit of texture that way. I'm going to merge that down because I like how that looks. And then right now I'm going to go ahead and show you how I use Theo's technique. He did a whole class on it. And there's instructions still in the forum about his class. You can go look at them. This is really complicated, so just go look those up. They're pretty easy to follow once you get used to it. I've done it so many times with my textures, but let's see. So to do this, I'm running through it real quick. It's really complicated, so go look up the instructions from Theo's class, or go watch his class. It's awesome. So copy down that. You're gonna want to pick the top one of the two copies, filter it, go to color adjustment, and turn the saturation all the way down. Even if you're doing like a gray sketch, or it's already gray, just do that too, because there could be still like hues of blue or pink in it. And then make a copy of the gray one. Then go to the layer above all of that and color fill white. Like that. Then you're going to want to turn that to difference and merge that down. Then you're going to want to go to 50% opacity. It should be all gray. The only reason mine's not all gray is because I went over white, and that's just where I didn't fully get color, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. And you're going to want to transform that like this. You hit the little gear at the bottom when you transform it, and put 2 in the top little bracket, and put 2 in the second one. And then hit done. And then you're going to merge that down. Copy that down. I know, it's a lot of work. I'm going to show you another way that you can add texture without having to do this, but I prefer doing it this way. It's pretty. So you're going to turn the top one to overlay and copy that down until you get it to the intensity you want. Merge that down and hit overlay. And you can see all the textures are coming through now. You can see the difference right there. Yeah, you can look up the instructions for that on under Theo's class. He did an amazing class, and it's really complicated at first, but you get used to it. And I'll show you another way you can achieve extra texture right now if you want. If you can't do this, I understand it's complicated. A simple way to get texture without having to do this is simply to load image and go to the community templates. Use one of the textures here. My favorite, of course, is Simply Surge's crack texture. That is by far my favorite. And just turn that one on overlay. And that way you have a texture without having to do that whole thing. Even though I still prefer how it looks doing that whole thing. So I think that looks cool. Okay. I'm just going to clear that for now. Now I'm going to show you how you can reuse the texture you've already made in a number of ways to make it different. Let's start by, I'm just going to make a copy of this so that I don't have to, oh, of course, you're going to be silly. Okay. To reuse one, you want to have the texture you're trying to reuse at completely, have all the saturation out of it. That way the colors don't show through. I mean, you may want that, but it's up to you. And you're going to turn that, the gray one, to overlay, and you're going to go to the layer under it. And you can just simply change the color by color filling, and you can just change the color that way. So you can just have it a full color like that just by changing the color under it. Very, very simple to do it that way. Another way I do it is to, you can do another texture underneath it, which can look cool too. You can go to the gray one and just try different blend modes, and you can, all different types of, and it shows the different textures come through in both. So you end up with a lot of different texture and stuff. Just try different blend modes. You never know what you'll like. There's all sorts, it can end up all sorts of ways. So just experiment. Figure out, I like, that one's cool. You know, stuff like that. You can figure it, you can redo it in so many different ways. It's fun. Yes, exactly. Just go through everything until you find something you like. I mean, it's cool. And then you can do all sorts of different things with it. Okay, so now I'll show you how you can use the, hold on where is overlay? Okay, I'm gonna teach you how to use the, oh my god, what am I trying to say? Of course I messed up. Okay, I'm gonna teach you how to use the procedural bristle brush to make a cool one too, to repurpose it in a cool way as well. Just go pick the bristle brush and go under the overlaid gray texture that you have there. And I'm going to use color swatches again so I don't end up with something that looks really bad. And just go around, I think it's on erase, of course. Go around adding the colors under it. I just jiggle the brush around and do them in different spots, completely random. Like that, more jiggling. And then go pick the next color and like blend them together with the colors already there. Hold on, I think I might be using the wrong color. I wanted to use this one. Okay. And just mix it with the colors that are already there. You can use all sorts of different colors. I've had luck with some colors, other colors that look like poop smeared on a wall when I was done. So, you know, just experiment. If it doesn't work out the first time, just keep trying. You may end up with poop smeared walls, but give it another go. Yes, if that is what you're looking for, then more power to you. And so I'm just going to go through different shades. Of course, if you use a darker shade, it will show the texture better. The lighter the shade, the less the texture is going to show through. So I'm just being random, putting colors about, then blending them in by not picking up my hand at all. Whenever I'm going around these colors, I'm not picking up my hand at all. That way they blend together well. Like that. Normally I could spend like hours doing this, trying to get it just perfect, but I'm OCD, so you don't have to do that. All I did was I took the texture that I wanted to repurpose, I turned the saturation on that down all the way, and then I put it to overlay and chose the layer under it, and I'm using the procedural brush right now to blend a bunch of different colors together and change the look of the texture. And just keep doing this till it's full. I would sit here and do this forever, but I have other things I want to teach, so. And so all I'm doing is using different colors. This spot is being stubborn, so that's why I'm sticking on it so long. I'm just trying to get it blended in well, but it's being stubborn. You're being stubborn. Stop it. Stop being stubborn. Whatever. We just act like that looks good right now. So anyway, you're just blending right now. That's all I'm doing. Come on, stop being stubborn. Oh my god. I'm going to end up laughing like a chipmunk this whole time. Anyway, so you just do this over the whole thing. I'm not going to sit here and do this too long because I have other things to get to. But anyway, you would just do that until you had it how you liked it. And just keep going and adding different colors and blending different colors in until you have it how you like it. I could sit here all day doing this. Okay, so we'll just say that's good. Whatever. That's good enough for now. But you just, you know, blend it until it's all blended and look the way you wanted it. So let me just combine that together. Now, how I decide what background, I'm going to show you guys how I decide what background to use with what picture that I have. And all I do is very simple. I go get one of my pictures and I load it onto one of the layers. Of course, you're going to want to save before you do this so there's no image load. hold on, let me see. This is on overlay still. So there's no image loader or anything. So just save before you do this, and then load an image that you want to put over it, and just pick an image. This is one of my photos I have, and this is how I decide what I'm going to use on the background. I just load an image over it, and then I go and erase the, let me go to eraser. Then I erase the background from the picture and decide if I like how that looks together. Let me see. I'm going to try to do it quick. Normally I would take a little more time to get it just right, but you know. So decide if I like how this looks. You can, you know, use different pictures. You could do all sorts of things just to decide if I would want to sketch this out. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, this kills me right now. I'm so OCD, like doing this so haphazardly is killing me, but but anyway, then I decide, do I like how this looks and would I sketch this? Probably wouldn't use this combination together, but that's how I decide if I want to use them as a certain background or not. And of course, you could change the colors of the background and mess with all that and decide if you could find something you liked with it and stuff like that. I'll show you some of the sketches I've done using my backgrounds. This is one I've done with making one of my backgrounds. This is one of the ones I've done. I've done this one using my backgrounds. You know, and just, it looks cool sometimes. And this is one that I'm going to sketch that I've used my background with and done the erasing with to decide what I'm going to do with it. Let me see. Next, I'm going to show you guys real quickly how you can use one of the textures you've made to like make a little table, or you could do this with anything if you wanted to add a texture to a statue or anything like that. I'll show you how to do that real quick. All I did beforehand was make this little thing out of pixels. Just made a little block out of pixels. It doesn't matter what color for this part. It can be any color. Let me make a copy of this so I don't just get rid of it, because you're going to need 2 of these if you're doing this. So let's see. Let's grab this, bring it on a layer above, and we're going to transform it. Now I like to grab the little corners here, and this way you can give it, I guess the word would be foreshortening. Look, I don't know, you know, just to make it go away. All you do to do this is grab the little corner of transform, hold it, and pull in. And let me get that big. And you would put it like that, and then just hit on, and it'll go on like that. So that can be your little table, but I'll show you how I do the lip of it. Hold on, let me see. Just copy down. Okay. And how I do the lip. I do the lip in white. Hold on, let me merge that down. I do a little line of white for the lip of the table. Let me put it up here so you can see. Like that. So that's the little line for the lip of the table. And I'll show you how to do this. And what I do for this one is when I transform it, of course I don't do any of the foreshortening stuff or whatever, but I try to leave a little white line. That's too big of a white line. Let me see. This is giving me trouble every time I've practiced, but we'll see. You just want to leave a little bit of the white sticking out. That's too much on that end. You could transform and try to get it perfect by messing with the, I guess that would be the y-axis. You see, and then you leave that little line so that it looks like a little highlight. You see? That makes it look like a little highlight. Okay, let me merge that down, and then you got your little table right there. Also, a little tip I have is when you're doing shading of any kind, do it on a layer above what you're working on. If you're doing textures or anything like that, do it on a layer above. That way you can erase from it without erasing below it, all sorts of stuff. All you have to do is pick like a darker shade of brown. Let me see. And go get the soft brown brush, which is the second one right there. Turn down the opacity some. Of course, I make sure it's on over and add that shading to the layer above. And it doesn't matter if you go out, because all you got to do is click on, and there you go. And that way you can erase from this layer without having to, you can filter that layer. It doesn't matter, you can do whatever. And just merge it down, and ta-da, there's your little table. Also going to show you guys really quickly how to do two more little things. Since I have extra time, I'm going to show you guys how to do a couple other little things. No, don't do it like that. Okay, I missed, hold on, let me see. It's being, okay. Let me see. I'm going to show you how I do, like, this is just a little extra thing since I'm done a little early. Just do the little line of pixels again like that in a brown. The brush I like to use to do wood, let me see, I have it written down on here, is Wood Grain by Snick. And that's the one I like to use for wood textures. Let me see. So let me see. I know I downloaded that one. Where did I download it? It should be right here. Okay, well. Okay, so let me go get that Wood Grain texture by Snick. It should be under textures, I believe. And thank you. Okay, so this is the texture I like to use. I edited a bit so that it's more straight. The lines are more straight. Let me see. Jitter always messes with all sorts of things, so I always turn that off so that, I don't know if taper is doing anything right now, but whatever. And then I try to get them straight line. I don't know why they're still a little off center. Why are they still off center? Normally that's flow that does that. Okay, I'm confused why these aren't all going straight up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so I just like them to be going straight up and down. I think that's how I do it. I have the brush how I normally use it on my other iPad, so I think actually I do them like that. So they're making kind of a line like that. Come on. Nice and straight. It's giving me a hard time right now. Anyway, so all you got, and then you just can do little lines is how I always do wood grain. I always go with the darker color first. Just be on a layer above it so that you can do all sorts of things to it without having to worry about messing up or anything like that. Let me turn the opacity down. And then you're just going to go over it like that. And that's how I do wood grain with that brush. It normally turns out looking pretty good. I'm going to show you how you can also use Theo's technique to just do one little piece of something. It's a little different. It's basically the same thing, but there's a little difference to it. I'll show you. Because you can't, if you do the color fill white, it's going to end up looking strange on the rest of it. So, I'll show you real quick. What you want to do is make one copy of this. You're going to filter it, turn the saturation all the way down again. Then you're going to make 3 copies of this. I mean 2 more copies of this instead of just the one you would normally make, because you want to choose this one right here. And the only difference is you're going to cover this one with white using on. That's the only difference to how you do the other one. That way you're only messing with this one little portion of the sketch. So you're just going to cover this with white on. This is the only difference from the other way you do it. And you're going to turn it to difference again. Merge that down. Turn it to 50. It should be completely gray when you get it to 50. Like that. And then you're going to transform, hit the little gears, put 2 and 2 in the first boxes. See how the texture comes through like that? And then you're going to merge that down. Again, you can look up Theo's instructions for his class and turn it to overlay and copy down until you get it to the consistency you want. Turn it to overlay. And there you go. There's wood grain. And again, you can, shade the back to make it look like it's going into the distance and all that, but that's a quick, easy way to make wood grain. Now I'm going to show you guys one more little thing, which is glitter, which glitter is really, really, really easy to do. Let me see. You're going to filter, turn on noise. And that already looks like glitter just by using the noise filter. But what I also like to do, a little bit of dodge filter, is do a little. So what I'm going to do here is just use on and cover this with black completely on the copy above. You're going to do that. And then turn that to dodge, like that. You still want it to be on, but you want to pick, I have so many brushes, so yeah, it's going to take a while to get to the bottom. I always use Pantaya's star brush, and on the dodge filter with on still on, you're just going to put little white specks to make it look like it's glistening. And then normally I like to put this on bloom just because it gives it a softer look. Like that. Let me see. And then you're going to stay on the dodge filter and add some of that sparkle pen on it in different little spots. And there you go. There's some glitter. Yes, tap, 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 tap. And that's an easy way to make glitter. Alright. Is there any questions or anything you guys want me to go over again? Because I have a little time. I have like... I have like 10 minutes if there's anything you guys want me to go over again. Yes, go ahead. Sorry, I'm stretching out my legs. Theo's technique, if you want me to, I can show you guys how to do that really quickly and go over it. Yeah, I'll go over that really quickly for y'all. Try to be, well, I'll do it more slowly this time for y'all, so y'all can hear it. Hold on, let me clear some of these layers so I can have an... Okay, I'm going to go over this slowly for y'all. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make a copy of the texture you're using. That's the first step. Very easy. I don't know why I'm sticking on that so long, but whatever. And then you're going to want to go to the top one and take out all the saturation so that it's gray like this. Then you want to make a copy of that one, of the gray one you have. So now you'll have two gray ones and the colored one. You want to go above those three right here and do a white, white over the top. It's still on overlay, that's why I'm showing that, but it should just be a white screen like that. Then you're going to want to go to the white one again and hit difference. So it should look like the gray one, only be dark where it's light and light where it's dark. Okay, so once you get there, that's the step you should be at. Now, there, what you're going to want to do is go to exactly 50%. Right here. Okay, so I had it to difference. I'll show you. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you have the white one above, the two gray ones, and the colored one. So that white one, you're going to want to turn to difference. Once you get it to difference like that, you turn the opacity down to 50%. Exactly 50%. So it should be completely gray like this at that point. But if there's some white showing through the back, it will have little white spots, but that's fine. The next thing you do is hit transform and hit the little gears in the bottom right corner. In those top two boxes, you're going to want to put 2 and 2. It doesn't have to be 2 and 2. It can be other numbers, whichever one you think is best for yours. Hold on. It's not showing through on mine for some reason. Oh, I forgot. Oh, you have to merge. Okay. You have to merge down after you get it to 50%. Then you transform. And so you hit the gear. Why is it not showing up? Why is it not showing up? Okay, now I'm having difficulties, of course. Okay, merge down, 50%, and then transform. Okay, I know what I did wrong. I messed up. No. Okay, so let's back up a second. Okay, so after you hit difference, you merge down. Then the one that you just merged down onto, you turn that to 50% and you transform that one. So I just missed merging down after you do difference. So, of course I mess up. It's complicated. So even I mess up, and I've done this like 1,000 times. So, okay, so then you get to this part, and you merge that down. Once you have the texture showing through, you merge that down. You're going to make a copy of that. So now you have two gray ones with texture. And you're going to set the top one to overlay. And then you just copy down that one until you get it to the intensity you want it to be. Because every time you copy down, it's going to have a better intensity to it. Then you're going to merge that down when you're done and hit overlay. And then you should have a texture. Now I've double textured this one. That's why it looks so strong. But it's been double textures. Yeah, it is harder when you slow it down because then you start like second guessing your own things. Okay, and let me see. Someone else. So Fazbear, you wanted me to show you how to do the line thing I do? I can show you that real quick if you want me to. Again, I'll show you how I do the line thing. Let's use this one since it doesn't have as much texture that's showing through. It'll be easier. Let me see. I don't know why gray's showing through on that one, but whatever, it's fine. There's no gray down here, so I'm kind of lost as to why it's doing that. Why are you doing that? Whatever, anyway. Okay, so how I do the line one is you make a copy of your texture that you're doing. You're going to go to the top one and filter that. Now go to, you can use either a hatch screen, or you can use, which works too, you can use line screen. I'm going to show you line screen. I always do the width a little bigger so that it's not too painful to the eyes. And then you're going to turn that to overlay so that the color comes through. Then you crank the opacity down until about between 10 and 15 is normally what I get it down to. And then you could go over and erase if you want with a low opacity brush. Like any brush is fine. Like any spatter brush, just turn the opacity down and put it on erase. And then you can get rid of lines and spots that you don't want them and stuff. And make it more random. It's like a, you can consider a concrete wall. It could be a concrete table. It could be just like a varnish or, you know, things like that. Just wall, you know, in general. Or, what? What's glitching? Wait, you mean a little gray coming through around the edges? You're welcome. Huh, the menu is? That's weird. Well, okay. Well, I hope you guys learned something. I'm sorry if I'm a little, I don't even know the word for it, a little out of it. I was so nervous, so I hope you guys actually learned something from my class. I will type up the instructions for it so that you guys can look at those and learn it. Also, make sure to look up Theo's old class because I use his impasto technique constantly. It's really helpful for any kind of texture that you want to make. But I hope you guys learned something. I really do. I really tried hard to get you guys, you know, teach you guys something. So I hope it works. Thank y'all. I appreciate everyone coming.